Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wingcat Sports. It's the weekly Tigers breakdown. The Tigers not having the greatest week. They split the week 500, which is about good enough for how they should be doing at this point. They have their magic number is now down to 7 after their win today, with a series coming up against Cleveland. They did look good this week with winning the Yankee series, and then we get confused with them getting blown out in a Marlins series.
Seattle's always giving them problems. I don't. It's just one of those teams, like I said, that even if they stink, they give us problems. I'm not, like I said, too concerned yet. I think, what are we, 7.5 up?
You're 6.5 up. So you're at the point where you should not be against Cleveland, because if Cleveland sweeps you, then they're 3.5 games back.
Well, let's hope Cleveland does not sweep us.
So then you're at the point, like I said,
we need to win the series. That at least that.
Well, that's the bright side. When you're coming to the series at home against Cleveland, each of these games is going to be worth 2. If you win it, your matchup number goes down by 2. So technically, if you sweep Cleveland the series, which I don't think you will, but if you do, you'll be down to 1 game by the time you reach the Atlanta series on the weekend. If you can at least win the series and only lose one of them, your matchup number goes down by 4. You'll be at 3 going into the Atlanta series with still a decent lead on Cleveland before you go play Cleveland next week. You have a total of 12 games remaining, a 6.5 game lead. Cleveland is your main worry at this point, which is, like I said, not what you wanted to have to deal with. Cleveland is going to be playing some easier opponents than you are, because after they play us, they'll have a 4-game series against the Twins. And then they come play us again, and then they play the Rangers, who are a wild card team. So that will be a little bit more difficult on them. But they're the one team you're mostly worried about in the division. For the most part, Kansas City is out of this race unless like a miracle happens. They are 10 games back with 12 remaining, likely not going to catch up to us. Cleveland is your main worry at 6.5 games. When it comes to the full standings of it all, again, we're probably not really worried about much at this point. Just get the bye. Toronto has a 2.5 game lead on you for first in the American League, while you have a nice 4.5 or 3.5 game lead on Seattle for second place. So Seattle has now taken over the AL West.
Ooh. And where's Cleveland at as far as the wild card
goes? Wild card, Cleveland is currently 2.5 back, so they're also fighting for a wild card spot.
Oh, they're not even in the playoffs yet.
Not in the playoffs. For that current series at the end of the year against the Rangers might be a pretty big one, depending on how the Astros play out the rest of the year. New York and Boston are your top 2 wild cards. It's mostly going to be a fight, really, for those 2. New York, I think, has secured their wild card spot. Boston is a half game up on Houston, who's 2 up on the Rangers, 2.5 on Cleveland. Everyone else is kind of a long shot. That includes Kansas City, who's 6 games back. But likely you're dealing with a 2 AL East and an AL West team in the playoffs. If Cleveland sneaks in, they're the only team I worry about for the Tigers for the most part.
Right.
But again, looking at it all for the Tigers this week, you play Cleveland. You have to have a good series against Cleveland. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you have a good series, you gain the games that you need to gain to make it a little bit easier on yourself. And then a poor Atlanta team, you need to actually beat them and not play down to their level so you can hopefully clinch the division by the end of the week.
Right. Well, like I still think, we're in the driver's seat. And if they blow this playing Cleveland 6 times, they just need to split with them. Come out at least 3-3 against them in their games.
If you go 3-3, you end up winning.
Yeah,
the division. You only got
that's what we should shoot for, and hopefully be able to shut down for the last week. And
Skubal has
up some players.
Over the week, we had some injury concerns with Baez getting him the face off a foul ball. He ended up playing the next day. Skubal got hurt, but he came right back. They said he's supposed to do his next 2 starts.
You guys were terrifying me the other day. I was saw that, and everyone's like, "He's gonna be out 6 weeks." I'm like, "What? What the hell are you talking about? 6 weeks?
It's a bad strain. That's a bad spot to have it."
I guess.
But honestly, if I'm the Tigers, I would shut him down to the playoffs. He only has 2 starts remaining.
Well, until we win. We got to win.
He has 2 starts remaining. One's against Cleveland. Both are actually against Cleveland if you follow the start pattern. So both would be against Cleveland. I'm just more or less, if he's running that risk of getting injured, I would prefer you just sit him, try to do this without him. Because it's 2 games. He's only pitching 2 of these games.
Right. Okay.
If you can't make it without him pitching 2 of the games, that's a problem.
That is a good problem. But we need him. We need to win these games. We need to beat Cleveland.
30 home run watch. Torkelson's still 2 away. Carpenter is 5 away. Can they reach it? I don't know. Tork should be able to if he can just get a couple more. That's not impossible through 12 more games. Carpenter could, but he would have to go on a little bit of a tear. It would be nice to see 3 people hit 30 home runs, but it doesn't have to happen. Just a little stat watch, though. Nobody is close to 100 RBIs to follow Riley Green. Your next highest is Torres and Torkelson at 72. Mm-hmm. So only 100 RBI player. And going into the playoffs, you have a nice average for Dylan Dingler leading you in batting average with the 281, and your worst starter technically being Parker Meadows at a 227.
Huh.
If they wanted to have him there.
If they want. Okay.
Remember, they can use a plethora of outfielders, with one of them being Wenzel Perez in center field at 263, or Javier at a 256. So realistically, batting average was up a lot higher this year, which is pretty good. Kind of what you want to see going. We'll see what ends up happening this year overall. Again, it's a big week. This is probably the biggest week you've had in the past 10 years outside the playoffs.
So if we sweep them this week, we're in.
No. You're down to 1 game. Your magic number is 1 if you sweep.
I would agree with you if we sweep them to sit Scooble the rest of the year.
Your magic number, if you can sweep them, is down to 1 game.
Because we should win 1 game without Scooble.
Again, realistically, you only have to win 4 out of your next 12, as long as Cleveland is losing along the way.
How many wins do we have?
85.
And how many games left?
12.
85.
They will not reach 100 wins this season.
No. Okay.
But they might get up. So out of 12 games, if you split it, that's 6. You get up to 91. Not terrible.
No.
Your highest amount you can get is 97 if you swept the rest of the year, which you're not going to.
Right.
You're probably going to sit around that 91, 92 mark is what my assumption's going to be. As long as we can stay ahead of the AL West, get the bye that first week so we don't have to play the wild card. Toronto, if we want to keep an eye on Toronto for first place in the American League, so the playoffs for the American League at least go through Detroit. I don't know how confident we can be with 2 games back, but they are playing Tampa, Kansas, Boston, and Tampa. Tampa's been iffy. They are around 500. Kansas City is around 500, and Boston is a wild card team currently. So you might be able to make up some ground if you can play well these last 2 weeks, and Toronto struggles a little.
Right.
If that happens. But we'll end it there. Hopefully we have a good week by the Tigers.
I think we got this. I'm trying to be confident about it.
You have it. I think most of us at this point just want you to get it sooner rather than later. Let's not wait till like the last 3 games of the year. Let's clinch it this week if we can.
Well, if we clinch it, then we can rest Scooble.
Yes, I think that's our goal, is to get to the point where we can just relax a little bit. But we'll see what ends up happening.
And if we're one of the first 2, we get a bye, right?
Yeah, you get a bye. You don't got to play the wild card, and you'll end up playing either the AL West opponent or whatever wild card team they're playing.
Okay.
So, see what ends up happening.
I'm excited. We'll
end it here. If you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about the Tigers, what you'd like to see them do this week, and your playoff hopes.
And can I ask you, did the Wings get Eric Carlson?
No. Until next time, see everybody. Zoop!